Hey, it's me, Dr. Daniel, and in this video, I want to walk you through a particular case study of a patient that came in last week. This was actually a 12-year-old female patient, and her primary complaint was low back pain. So this is somebody who showed up to our office. Her mother brought her in for an examination, and because she was experiencing low back pain now for about 3 weeks, right? So this is back pain that she attributes to maybe dancing, and it just hasn't gotten better. And in fact, she said that it was getting worse. So like we do, right? Patient comes in, we do a posture exam, we do body composition analysis. So we collect basically what you would consider to be chiropractic vitals. We take some measurements, and then the most important thing is we take x-rays. So I want to walk you through her x-rays to help you kind of understand what are some of the things that we're looking for. First off, remember that there's two reasons why we have a spine. Right? Reason number one is structural support. So it's literally the foundation for the rest of your body. The ability for your arms to be able to generate force, the ability for your legs to be able to generate force, all come from the center, which is your spine. And so spine first, that's a very important concept to understand when it comes to functional movement patterns, to personal fitness level, and of course, avoiding any kind of degeneration or pain. Number two, the second reason why we have a spine is because it protects the brain and the spinal cord, which is pretty dang important, right? If I were to ask you, would you rather your child have a damaged brain or a damaged spine, and you had to pick one, which one would you pick? Most people probably think, well, I don't want a damaged brain for my child, so I'd take a damaged spine. Truth is, they're both the same thing. It's one entire system. Your brain, which is encased within your skull, extends into a spinal cord, which is then encased within the entire spine. So that whole system is one whole unit if you really think about it, and it all is important. And so taking care of your spine is taking care of your brain. Taking care of your brain, therefore, is like taking care of your spine. So the two main reasons why you have a spine is because of structural support. Again, the spine should be straight up and down from the front. When you look at it from the side, there should be curves. If we were to take a deeper look and look at the anatomy of the spine, we have to, of course, begin with the brain, which is the brain is up in here. It's encased within solid bone. The extension of your brain is going to be your spinal cord, and that runs down along within your spine. And so taking care of your spine means that ultimately you're really allowing for the communication between your brain, sending signals down your spinal cord, out through every single nerve that then come and connects to your entire body. Applying any kind of abnormal force or trauma to your spine can impact these nerves, which of course can cause all sorts of dysfunction. That's why it's important. Now let's get back to Miss A, who is this 12-year-old female child who came into our office. As you can see here, here's an x-ray on the left of somebody who would be normal. Notice how the pelvis is level between left and right. The femurs between left and right are also level. That's very, very important. And then again, the spine is straight up and down. This allows for even distribution of muscles between left and right. So, it's not that one side's getting stronger than the other just from doing things like walking around and running. So a neutral spine is very important for even distribution of force or strength between left and right. Now, if we look at Miss A, you'll see that her legs were pretty even. Her pelvis is also pretty even. And if you notice her spine, she has a little bit of a deviation off to the right. Now, she was in pain, so it's safe to say that this slight deviation could be because she's in pain, and that's why. And in fact, upon further inspection, we found that she had some trigger points in her low back, and so that's probably what's contributing to this. Looking at her x-rays from the side, again, here's an example of normal. I want you to pay attention to how it's curved. And then there are 5 bones that make up your low back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If we were to draw a line from the center of L1, which is the first bone of your back, you should be able to draw a line straight down, and it lands pretty close to the base of your sacrum. This is very important. If we look at her x-ray, look at her low back, she definitely has a curve, but if we were to count up to that number, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then drop down, look how far back that goes. So this is how you would diagnose something like sway back. Now, a lot of people will claim that they've got sway back, but they've actually never been truly diagnosed or measured. Now, what happens when you have sway back is you're creating a lot of shearing forces into the bones. In other words, all this weight, right? back here is dropping straight back, and it's causing shearing forces along these bones, which can cause pain as well. So again, she's got muscle spasms. She's got some pretty major misalignments occurring in her low back, which definitely would be contributing to low back pain. But her story gets even more interesting. Proceeding to the rest of her spine, here we have her neck. Again, on the left is an example of normal. Notice the C-shaped curve that this person has. And then also if we draw a line from way up top up here, this is called the sella turcica. Again, that little U shape that you see here, you should be able to draw a line from the front part of that straight down, and it touches these bones. That's normal forward head posture, meaning there's no forward head posture. They're in a neutral position. Remember, for every 1 inch of forward head posture, so in other words, if this line was way out over here in the front, it's equivalent to adding about 10 pounds of weight onto your back, which of course can cause your back some extra stress. Now, if we look at her x-ray, she has lost some curve in her neck, so she doesn't have an ideal curve, but look at how far forward she's carrying her head. So if you were to compare that little U-shaped right up here, which is the sella turcica, again, you drop a line straight down, look at how far it is compared to where normal is, right? If you were to compare that over here. So she has quite a bit of forward head posture, which is causing this compensation of her low back swaying back, giving her back pain. Now, more important than this is actually this x-ray here. And this is something, she doesn't complain of neck pain, she doesn't complain of back pain or mid-back pain or shoulder problems, but you can clearly see on her x-ray how much of a deviation she has, right? She has some pretty severe misalignments that are occurring here. And here's the deal, she's 12 years old. This is somebody who's not complaining of neck pain or back pain or mid-back pain or anything like that. She could have easily gone for years without ever getting an x-ray. By the time she's 18, by the time she's 20, 25, this is going to be pretty much set in stone, and she's going to have some pretty severe problems related to her spine just because she didn't have any symptoms. And this is why I'm sharing this story, is because here's an example of somebody who came into my office for low back pain. Sure, we found some things that we can help him correct, but quite honestly, the upper part of her body, which is a part where she's not hurting, is actually more severe, more diseased. Right? She has bigger problems going on in her spine in a place that she had no symptoms. So the important thing here is to remember that it's not about your pain, right? It's more about how your body is functioning. And this is very poor function from a spinal column's perspective. If this person if she were to continue to train and work out and exercise, she's going to be creating some massive dysfunctions between the left and right side of her body. Eventually, she'll probably throw out her shoulders. She's going to have chronic neck pain and mid-back pain as an adult. And so these are things that, again, are very important to consider as we're aging and as we're developing. And this is exactly why I wanted to share her story. So what are the things that you need to do in order to correct these problems? Well, first is to get an exam. Right? And know how to correct or adjust the spine. And that's pretty much my job, right? So when you come into our office, we do an examination, we take your x-rays, we look at some posture patterns, and we try to identify what are the things that you're unaware of so we can plug those blind spots up and we can actually start you on the path towards correcting your spine. Number 2 is to give you the right types of spine hygiene exercises. These are things you must absolutely do in order to get corrective care. You can't expect to just change the bones and do nothing to the muscles. Right? Our muscles have memory and we have to reshape that. Number 3 is repetition and consistency. Just like braces, right? You can't get braces and wear them for a month or 2 months or 3 months even and expect for that to be corrected. It's just not going to happen. So the same is true with your spine. We need to be adjusting you regularly and repetitively in order to create change and make sure that your spine is going to be in the healthiest position as you become an adult. And that's the most important thing that we can do for a child and why we take care of so many kids in our office. It's because of the prevention that we can actually do rather than being reactive, right, later in life. So some very important concepts here that I'm trying to share with you when it comes to taking care of kiddos, not just relying on pain as an indicator of whether something's going on, right? So you can better understand why we recommend, again, seeing kiddos, why you yourself, if you have not had a proper examination, this is why you should also get checked as well. Again, I'm Dr. Daniel with Family Health Chiropractic here in Austin, Texas. If you have not been evaluated by a chiropractor, this is something, or if this is something you've been thinking about or you're not currently under chiropractic care, I would highly recommend that you take advantage of the offer that we have for you, which is to come in, get an evaluation, let's see what's going on with your spine, and let's prevent some kind of catastrophe moving forward. If you have any comments or questions, please post them below. Other than that, we'll see you at the next video.